Ooh, another bonus episode? Okay, yeah, hey, hello, I'm Brooke, hi, how you doing? First off, if my voice sounds a little off, I've been speaking for the last 2 hours, recording bonus episodes for you guys. Some might be out by now, some might be coming out. But with Black Ops 6 coming out soon, I thought, you know what? People love tier lists. So I've got here all of the Black Ops multiplayer maps for Black Ops 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now, I do not count. I know Cold War is technically Black Ops 5, but it doesn't have the Black Ops name. Also, I played none of that multiplayer, so I cannot speak on any of the maps. But yeah, it's just a simple little tier list here, and we're going to rank every single multiplayer map. Hey, it's Future Brook here. Hey, how's it going? I've just got to make a few changes throughout the video, so you might see me time to time. The first change is, right now, you hear me say, oh, Black Ops 6 is coming out soon. Yeah, when I recorded this, Black Ops 6 was coming out the next day, and obviously it's taken me a bit longer to edit this than obviously I'd expected, I guess. So yeah, Black Ops 6, it's already out. Alright, bye for now, I'll see you a bit later. As you can see, we're doing the classic S to F, with obviously S being the top tier maps and F being the get in the bin maps. Now, before we begin though, I just have to make it clear that I've played, I think, every map on here. I do not have enough playtime in a few of these maps to talk about them, and so because of this, the following maps are going in the NA tier, which will appear now. Oh, there's more editing for me to do. Okay, so following maps are going in the NA tier for I haven't played them enough. So from Black Ops 1, we have Berlin Wall, Discovery, Hangar 18, Hotel, Kowloon, Silo, Stockpile, WMD, and Zoo. Black Ops 2, played them all. For Black Ops 3, we have Empire, Citadel, Micro, Outlaw, and Rupture. And for Black Ops 4, we have Artifact, Casino, Deschatten, Grind, Havana, Launch, Lockup, Masquerade, and Remnant. Now, you may be thinking, well, Brooke, some of those were in other Call of Duties, like, Grind and Launch and that. The thing is, and you're going to see this with a couple of maps on here, dependent on the game, it changes the way the maps feel, the way they play, and just the overall vibe that you get from them. But anyway, let's go into this list. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to do it Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4 in alphabetical order. So the first game that we are starting with is Black Ops Original, which means that the first map on our list is Array. This map I give a solid D to. Now, when it comes to Black Ops 1, I was kind of on the back burner. Like, I got my first Xbox in 2013, so at that point it was like Black Ops 2 and Ghosts were the big thing. So going back to play Black Ops 1, you're playing against like a higher level of people. So obviously my thoughts on this are a bit, it's a bit swayed because I'm not playing against the masses, I'm playing against the better people. And I found with Array that this was a very camp-heavy map, at least for the games that I've played. And when you're not camping, you're in this wide open fucking snowy area, and you're just getting picked off all the time. There were some fun games, but overall I did not really enjoy my time on this, and that's why I've given it a D. Next up, we have Convoy. And Convoy... little update, I forgot to put Convoy on the NA list. Convoy was also NA, didn't play it enough. Alrighty, map number 2, and it's Cracked. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of maps, like these destruction maps. You might see, a bit later on some maps that are similar to this being ranked pretty similarly. But this is an F for me. I did not like this map. A lot of the times anytime you try and run anywhere, you just get gunned down with someone in a corner, or when you run around, some guy comes around at the same time, always losing the gunfight. And obviously, it was hard to, exclude some of my biases for some of this, but this was one of the maps where I'd ran into a hacked lobby where if you threw your Nova 6 grenade, it stayed permanently, and there were at least 2 different games where the entire map you'd spawn and die, spawn and die, spawn and die, spawn and die. It was horrendous, so I'm sorry, but it had to affect it, and this is going to be an F tier. Alright, map number 3, we got Crisis. Now this was also another map that I found there was a lot of camping in it, but unlike Array, there was also a lot of lanes that you could, run and gun through. And I can remember a lot of good games on here where I'd just like run around the corner and find a camper and get them, or I'd have some nice gunfights that might result in a couple kills before dying. It was one of those maps that I felt kind of underrated, and I kind of liked it quite a bit, but it's not a great map, so I gotta give it a B. B is probably perfect for this map. Alrighty, so Drive-In is up next, and it's one of those nice small maps, but there's not much going on with it. Like, you got your usual, 3 lanes, but I found most people either stuck sniping on the middle or were just camping on either side, so there wasn't really much of a flow to the map. I still like the map, it's just not one of my favourites, and I gotta give it a C. It might be better than a C, but some of the games I've had on here has kept it down. Now, you may be thinking, oh Brooke, do you not like any of the Black Ops maps? We are reaching our first S rank, and it's Firing Range. It's an iconic map. It's been in every fucking Black Ops on this list anyway. So, Firing Range. It's one of those perfect flowing maps. You run one side, and you've got the targets going back and forth that you can hide behind and pop out, use as cover. You run down the other way, you've got the guys camping in the fucking little tower in the middle of the map, but you've also got that other little bit to the side where people are, they might be camping, looking down on the middle of the area. You can see them, shoot them, get one of your sick tomahawk bloody bank shots on them. You got the other guys that could be camping in that little hut to the left hand side. And then you just got the middle area where it's not a death trap to run through because you can get shot from all angles. But you can also get some really cool kills. I just feel like this is a map that the flow of it was perfect, especially in Black Ops 1. And because it's such a smaller map, you can also get some really sick fucking Tomahawk cross maps. And, I mean, where else could I put it but S? Next up we have Grid. This is another, medium-sized map, but I prefer fighting around the edges, in the buildings. However, you get some people that just love their corners. But this is one where you might have an angle on one corner, but there's another way someone can come from to kill you. And I quite like that. But it is just a regular map. I'm going to give it a C. It could have possibly been a B, but I'm going to give it C. Alright, Hanoi's up next, and I don't really like darker maps, which might be a spoiler for some of the future maps coming up, but there are some games where you think, oh, there's no one there, you run forward and there's a guy hiding in the shadows that you can't see. It's a decent sized map, there's enough room to run around, but it's just, no matter where you go, there's always a guy that's got your angle, and it really messes with you. I give it a D, I'm sorry. I know a lot of people love this map, but I gotta give it a D. And joining it in the D tier is the next map, Havana. This is another one where you've got this big open stretch that's an absolute death trap. This is where a lot of the fighting would be done on either side of the map. And a lot of the times, it was a fair fight. You'd around the corner, someone else would around the corner, you'd both, face off, and the more accurate one usually won. As you can see, I was not good at Black Ops, and this is why this is a D, because I lost a lot of those gunfights, and I feel like I should have won, especially with, using shotguns versus, other guns. But hey, this is a personal thing, and I just wasn't good. And this is why this one's ranked so low. Now, Hazard's up next, and this is one of the few remake maps that was done. Obviously, if I was behind the ball on Black Ops, I obviously didn't play any World at War. I think I've played one online World at War game, and I think I had a positive KD because there was 8 people in the game total. So I'm not clouded with nostalgia per se. So that's not going to help this map. But what is helping this map is the golf course. I don't know why. the set. Like, I don't play golf, but I love the idea of a golf course being a map. It played decently well. You got your your casual 3 lanes. I'm going to say that for just about every map because it's Call of Duty special. But I just feel like that middle lane, even though you got guys camping with snipers, you could still run up and down there. I feel like a lot of the games were fought in the middle of the map instead of around the outside with the corner snipers. That being said, B, C, B. I got to put it in C. Just it's close. Another one that's close to being a B, but I just got to put it in C. Jungle's up next. And this was a tough one because I definitely played more Black Ops 4 than Black Ops 1. And spoiler alert, that was remade in Black Ops 4. But this is the Black Ops 1 map we're talking about. Now, I can remember there's that rock. You know that rock in the middle of the map where people like to go and snipe? That was always a fun battle. I had a lot of fun battles there. Because you just, you got your guy camping up there, so you climb up the ladder. They've usually got something waiting for you, the claymore to blow you up. Then the next time you come back over there and you're like, oh, just toss a grenade up. Sometimes you get the grenade kill, sometimes you miss the grenade completely and it just goes over and he turns around and shoots you. The issue with it in Black Ops 1 was that you only had a couple of areas that you do your gunfights. You'd have that rock. That rock was the main fighting point. The lane to that side as well, it was a lot of fighting. You would not see much down the middle. And if you went on the catwalks, as I would like to call them, I don't know what you'd properly call them, but those little catwalks, you would get the shit shot out of you by either the guy on the rock that you should have already been fighting, or some guy just running around the corner. So it's an iconic map, but just not in this game. I'm going to have to give it a C, which is actually higher than I've ranked it here, but I've talked myself into moving it up from D to C. Launch. This map, it wasn't special. It was, hang on, let me find the map of the mini map of this. It's your typical, long rectangle-shaped map with a little bit up the top where the rocket was. But there was just so many fun little areas you could have a fight in. And the big thing for me is that middle area where, everything is, you could actually have gunfights and not just get sniped by a guy 50 yards away or whatever. And the other thing is you could run just about any gun on this map. Because it's so close quarters, you can run your shotguns, but there's long lines of sight for your assault rifles and SMGs, and I'm sure you could snipe, but hey, I'm not a sniper. But yeah, overall, I really liked Launch. I don't know why. It's just stuck with me, and I give that a B. Remember how I said about maps being remade? Here's Nuketown. I saw a tweet this morning, and I have never felt more old, where Treyarch said, a majority of our fan base has never played the original Nuketown. It's in every Call of Duty. It's in Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4. It's going to be in Black Ops 6. I don't know if it's in Cold War. I haven't done any research on it because, as I say, I haven't played any Cold War. So you kind of, it kind of wears out its welcome. That being said, this was the first Nuketown. This was the fucking greatest map ever. This is S. This, you know what? Fuck it. S+. This is the quintessential map. This map was so good, there's a reason why they kept remaking it. It was excellent. You had your long line of sight for snipers, but you had cover with the buses and the truck. You can run around with a shotgun. You can run around with an SMG. You can run around with any fucking gun. You can have your tomahawks, your ballistic knives, your crossbows. You got 2 buildings that you can camp in or, fight with the other camper. But you don't have an entire view of the map. You have certain areas you can watch. Other people from the ground level can shoot up at you, and it's a fair fight. Sure, it might have had a little iffy spawns, especially you see nowadays. You got these really good Call of Duty players who will be like, "Oh yeah, 1v1 me on here." Sniped, turn around, sniped, turn around, sniped, just spawn trap everywhere. But no, this is what you should base your small maps off of. Small, close quarters, but it's fair. S+. Actually, that'll take too much editing. Stay in S. Stay in S. But you are definitely the greatest Call of Duty map, at least in Black Ops 1. Okay, so Radiation is up next. But first off, let me tell you, I am a slut for maps that have buttons that do things. There's a certain map coming up, like much later on, that's helped raise the level of this map for me. But this was one of the first maps I remember that had a button that you pushed, and it changed the map. Sure, it was just opening and closing the bay doors, but I used to play a little bit of Domination back in the day, and you had to keep that closed. As soon as that gets opened, and you've got the flag, you've got the B flag, you were fucked. The opposition, they would come in from the top of the blast doors and just shoot down on you, and you had no cover, no defense. That being said, they then kill you and keep the doors open. You can do the same to them. So that was a lot of fun. But overall, I just feel like it flowed well. You got your different areas you can run through. And as a little bonus that it didn't really affect it, but I just had to talk about it. There was a while where I had all these games to play, but also no games to play. I just couldn't decide what to do, so I played some Black Ops instead. There was a session after a 4-hour lab where I came back, just, turned on the Xbox, started playing this map, and there was this guy just roasting the hell out of our teammate for the entire 10 minutes. It was some of the funniest shit I'd ever heard. And I'm just like, nah, you know what? This is a good map, just for that moment. Oh, but man, it was the funniest. I even messaged the guy later on. I was like, bro, that was the funniest game of Call of Duty I've ever played. He's like, I was just trying to chill, man. He was just so bad. Oh, but yes, this Radiation, it's a C. Nah, it's a B. Those those Domination games were so much fun. B for this map. Alright, 3 maps to go. And the next one is Stadium. So this was one where me playing Black Ops 2 made me appreciate this map more, because it was obviously remade in Black Ops 2. So I played it in Black Ops 2 and I'm like, oh yeah, this map's not bad. Then went back to Black Ops 1, and when this map came up, I was like, oh yeah, this is a cool map. Hang on, I know this map. Once again, it's the whole fact that you have this huge stadium you can fight in, but you've also got an outside area that, once again, you have cover from snipers. It's not just run out and get shot down. That's probably one of the bigger things that made me like this map a lot more, is the fact that, yeah, you can fight in the middle of the map, you can fight in the stadium, you can fight around the little alleys. It's just a good time. And for that, I give it a C. It's a high C, but it's a C nonetheless. Summit is up next. Summit is a great map, and there's so much to talk about. The fact that you can run up one side and then jump into that cable car using your elite Call of Duty skills. Or, instead of running around that way, you just run up inside into the middle building where a lot of the fighting's going on. And that gives you that second angle on the guys up the top, because they're looking at one door, you've come through a different door, and there's even a third door you can enter from. And that is where a lot of my deaths would come from, is I'd run that way as another enemy had spawned in and they'd come and shoot me, and I'm like, oh damn, that sucks. I would then run the fuck back to where I was, and then kill that guy, and then get killed by another one of the enemies. And it was just like a back and forth, like, I would get one, they would get me. I would get one, they'd get me. But overall, this is one of those maps where you can't camp and have a good time. You can camp, but there's so many ways that you can counter the camper. And at the end of the day, I gotta give it an A. It's not S worthy, but it was so much fun. So many good games on this map. A. And then lastly, for Black Ops 1, we have Villa. I have many memories of being homesick and just, playing Black Ops because I could, and having a couple of good games on here, and I'm like, this map's one of my favourites. I always found that it flowed well, but that's because I really only stayed on one half of the map. I never went to like the wide open areas. I just stayed on like those little nooks and crannies. Sometimes went to the fountain area, but a lot of the time I would just stay basically the middle of the map, which sounds odd to say, but yes, the middle of the map is the best the best area, I'd say. But boy, the amount of fountain, like, you would be coming from, like, the west, there'd be an enemy to the east, but then another one is snuck around to the north, but you got a guy coming from the south, and you just all converge and have a huge gunfight. It's a B. I know, I don't think a lot of people like this map, but nah, it had its moments, and these fountain battles that you'd have, they're up there, B. Alrighty, now we're into Black Ops 2, and hey, remember what I said about like destruction type maps? Yeah, Aftermath, the first Black Ops map on this list is an F. I fucking hated this map. You couldn't run down the middle, because no matter what you do, there'd be a bouncing Betty. No matter where you go, somewhere down the middle, there's a bouncing Betty with your name on it. You try and go through one of the buildings, not only is there bouncing Betty, but there's a couple of campers. You try to go the other way, and you've got a guy sniping you from the other side of the map. It just didn't flow. Was it fun? I mean, I got like a real cool cross map on it once, but this was definitely one of those maps that if I saw it in the rotation, I'm instantly voting for a different map. Cargo, on the other hand, I found that was a really fun map in terms of the fact that you can have 3 different gun battles in 3 different areas. I always loved the whole, the fighting on the shipping containers, and the fact that you can just, jump up boxes on the side, and come from the side the enemies aren't expecting you for. And yes, there's bouncing betties there as well, but you can actually, they're there. They're in a normal spot. People are trying to camp up there. It's not like, oh, I'm just running down the middle of the map. Oh, there's a random bouncing Betty and I'm dead. These made sense. I didn't really do much with the building on the far side. But, that's just me. That middle area, big death trap. But, yeah. It's the shipping containers that do it for me. And the fact, again, it's a map that has moving pieces. The shipping containers move, they can kill you. That's pretty funny. Didn't really happen that often, but you'd get that one unaware motherfucker who would just be like, oh, what's happening? Squish. Yeah. I gotta give it a B. It's a good map. Oh, Carrier. Carrier. You are gonna call me the biggest fucking hypocrite here, because a lot of this is open area. I love this map. I love this map with a passion. The fact that you can run, like, most of the time I would run in that little bit in the ship, on the, the left-hand side, I'd say. I'd just run around in there the whole time. Maybe, peek out a bit here and there, but most of the time was, like, in that ship. And if you've got someone on the opposite side of the ship that's sniping you, you can run up the side, and half the time they're not expecting you to come from that side. They're thinking, oh, they're just going to come, straight for me. I can see everything, but they don't see you coming from the side. You get a lot of satisfying kills there. However, it does have a bit too much wide open space. And I think, as much as I love half of the map, there's a lot of the map I don't love. And I gotta put it in the C tier. This was like a high C, low B, and I gotta give it C just for stuff I've already said. I can't be like, oh, I hate open area maps and then say, I love this map. Cove was an odd map for me. It's a small map. I feel quite, not claustrophobic, but it feels small to me in terms of like areas you can go. You go in that middle area, you're just getting gunned down from the plane wreck or something. You run around the outside, you've got a better chance of, finding someone. But it just feels cramped. Like there's not enough ways or areas for you to run. It's a C. I don't have much to say about it, but it's a C. If there was no tomahawks in the game, Detour would be an easy F. But the fact that you spawn in and you can just throw a tomahawk, get an easy cross map, that gets it to D alone. The underground areas, of course, I enjoy because, as I say, it's not wide open like the middle of the map. You have some fun battles down there. It's not a great map. It can be fun sometimes, but a lot of the time you're just getting yourself dicked by snipers. Now, I believe Dig was a remake, right? It was a remake of a World of War map, Once again, haven't played the World of War maps. This was definitely it's a close quarters map. You got to react quick. You can maybe get a tomahawk kill every once in a while, but as soon as the enemy calls in like a fucking stealth chopper, unless you're like me who always ran like cold-blooded and engineer, I know, I ran engineer and I'm still complaining about bouncing betties. But run engineer, you got your bloody anti-aircraft missile launcher, you are going to have a bad time. It's once you're ahead, it's a much more fun map. When you're not ahead, it's a bit of a slog. But if you do come from behind to win, it's a very satisfying feeling. And I don't know, I think I've had a couple of good maps on there, but my heart is telling me to put it at B, so I'm going to put it at B. Joining it at B is the downhill map. This is another map where you got a very close quarters like fighting area with all the ski lifts going back and forth. And then you've got a wide open area, but you have areas you can run behind to be in cover. Like there's a huge open area, but you can take that path on the far left side and you're somewhat covered. Snipers can't see you. Like, you'll eventually get shot, but instead of running out in the wide open area, you actually have, time to think, like, oh, what's happening here? Do I throw a grenade? Do I do this? Do I do that? But yes, I definitely prefer to stay in where the ski lifts are going and just running back and forth on that side of the map. Yeah, it's a solid map. I give it, as I say, a B. Drone is better than a lot of people think that it is. A lot of people complain about that entire middle part of the map where you got the wide open space where people just hide up in the trees/bushes area and just snipe the whole time. There's so many ways to get to the other side of the map. You don't need to run through the middle, and even if you do, there's a lot of cars and shit you can hide behind. Probably not going to help you if you're going up against someone somewhat decent. But every once in a while, you'll go up against a sniper who just can't hit you for shit, and you're just ducking in between vehicles, making your way towards them. Of course, the two times that it's happened, I've been blindsided by one of their teammates and died, but it was fun. But, either side of the map, you got inside areas you can run in between. A small, like, the drone factory area, you can get some good gunfights in there. It's a solid map. Like, it's a C, but it's better than a lot of people think that it is. The thing that I liked about Encore is that you had little ways, those little, I think, are they the air vent duct things that you can like crouch in to get to the other side of the map instead of having to, run around in that. A couple of inside areas, a big open space. That kind of brings it down a bit. That huge open space where the, arena is. You get guys coming from the left and the right that you don't actually see because you're focused on the, in front of you. But I don't know, it wasn't a bad map. Again, another C. Trains go brrr. Express is fun for all the right reasons. It's wide open enough that you can have battles vertically and horizontally, but it gives you enough cover where one guy at one side of the map can't just keep picking off guys on the other side. You got the two bridges that that snipers usually hide in and they snipe down on you, but you can come from the right hand side going up the stairs and blindside them, or you come from like the train station area and go up and blindside them that way. You can run around either side of the map. It's not like you're going to run around and instantly get mowed down. And the best part of all is it has a train that'll come and kill anyone on the tracks. Yeah, this is an S for me. I really enjoyed it. I have a lot of friends that enjoyed it. It's solid. Frost confuses me. Like, it's a simple map. But the whole ice part that people can run on, it just confuses me. I don't know why, it just confuses me. It's like the vertical gameplay here just, it doesn't fit properly. The bridge, running across the bridges is fine. Like, there's been a couple of gunfights where you and another guy are running across at the same time, and whoever shoots first usually wins. But yeah, that's fine. Running in between the buildings, though, it just feels, a bit cramped. I don't know. It's a D. Now, I feel like I've been too harsh on a lot of maps, but this map, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm almost thinking I'm being too kind to it. I'm giving it an S. This is grind. I just love the idea of a skate park themed map that you can run around, you can jump over the half pipes, and you have cover. Like the big open area I can think of is on the far side where you've got like the big half pipe that you'd skateboard down, whatever. But you can run behind the bleachers there, and that gives you cover to, flank your enemies. The middle area is a little bit of a clusterfuck, but you can shoot up at the enemies and it be almost equal footing. Like, they still have the advantage, obviously, but you can actually be down there, take cover, shoot back at them, instead of it being just a wide open area where you get gunned down. And if you get yourself an RCXD, you fucking call that thing in, and now you can go up and down the half pipes. It's real fun. Yeah, S. Joining at an S rank is hijacked. I like small boat map. You got your top area where you can have your gunfights. You got guys shooting down on you. You can't really shoot up at them, but what you can do is go under the boat, or under the top deck, and run to the other side of the map, climb up, and then get them. Or you take the outside, the outside ramps, you're wide open to anyone who's coming from the other side, but you have that protection from the other guys. You've also got those little cabins that you can run in between on the sides of the boat. And I just feel like it's balanced where there's not one cheese spot where someone can be and no one can get to them. Easy S for me there. Alright, Hydro. Hydro, what am I doing with you? I like the whole underground, like the water treatment part, where you can have gunfights. You can, come in, have your fights, go to the other side. Another big middle area that I'm not a fan of, obviously. A little bit of cover, not as much as I'd like. So I usually avoid that, take the outside routes. But the other thing is the fact that the map can go, okay, water's being flushed now, you better get out of here. If you're stuck in there, the water kills you. I tell you what, it's just like with Express, I really like parts like that, because it just adds realism to the map. It's not like, we're treating the water, but there's a gunfight, so we're stopping it. It's done on a system, but it's nothing special. I'll give it a C. I don't like magma. I don't know what it is. I just don't like magma. I think because it was such a late map coming out that a lot of the guys had already started to look towards Ghosts. I don't know if this came out before or after Ghosts, but I feel like I always ran into a lot of sweats on this map. And it had little cracks and crevices, little campers can hide in and surprise you from. Like, I'm thinking back to all the time on the map, I just don't see any epic gunfights or whatever. It's just run around, hopefully get a kill. It's quite empty. No, there's no one around. Oh, there's a guy behind me, dead. Also, I may or may not have fallen into the lava a few times and just died. So yeah, I'm giving this a D. They tried, but yeah. Meltdown. One of the biggest things that saves this map is that in the middle area, wide open, you can get sniped from either building, but you can go under. And I like just that little bit of under, where you can get to the other side. Usually run into an enemy, you kill them, then you're already in a good position for when they respawn. Yeah. The side battles, they're alright. I definitely prefer the cooling tower type side, where you're in that building, and it's like, it's a little dark, but it's dark enough where you're just like, is that a guy? And then you see them running and you kill them, or they kill you. It's a lot more fair than some of the future maps where it's a bit dark, which I will get to. Trust me, I will get to those maps. But yeah, I'll give it a C. It's definitely not a map I'd want to play over and over again, but it's one I don't care if I'm playing it. I have fun. Mirage. You want me to hate this map so much, but I've had so much fun on this map. I know it is not a good map. Like, the middle area, it's usually got a camper somewhere. Your left-hand side's got a camper. Your right-hand side's got a camper. There's a lot of camping spots everywhere. But I just felt like in those in those Mirage games, it was a lot more fair. Like, campers could camp, but you could get them from either side. And even when they're camping, some of their lines of sights are blocked. So you have a chance, like, on one side you can go up through the bus, and on the other side you can go in the pool. Not that it helps you, because usually you jump in the pool and they're like, oh, there's a guy, bang. Yeah, I gotta give it a C. I'm gonna give it a C. Like, this map should make me more angry than it does, but I'm gonna give it a C. Hey, Nuketown's back. Nuketown 2025. Legitimately, I don't really... Like, there's almost no difference between this and the original Nuketown I found. You have better guns. And what is the issue that I find... Like, the only issue I do have with the map is not the map's fault. It's... You can have an LSAT. You can put on a target finder. You can go prone. And you just go... I hated that. Because you can't see the guy. But he's got this little diamond that's like, look, there's the guy. But despite all this, it was always a fun time. No, like, it was never painful. It was not like, oh, Nuketown again. It was like, yay, Nuketown. Another S. Overflow is the other map that I'm putting in F tier. A lot of people like this map. I did not. That middle section, you're wide open, you get your shit rocked. The left-hand side, like, you got one side where you got the guys that can hide in the buildings, but you've got areas that you can run up and down. Usually there's a guy camping behind he's like head glitching behind a barrel, and boom, you're dead. And on the other hand, you got that building, like the construction building that's partially worked on. Usually there's a guy around the corner when you least expect it. I don't like the flow of the map. I don't think it flows well, so F tier for me. Plaza, it's an A tier. I wanted to put it in S, but it's the whole, the bits at the top with the ladders that you can camp on and shoot down on the wide open area, or on the stairs area. I just find that it's a little difficult to get to the guys up there, because you've usually got like a bouncing Betty, or even worse, a teammate of theirs just camping the ladder to make sure that no one gets up there. Yeah, if there was more of a line of sight, it probably wouldn't be as good of a spot, but it might have put this into S tier, but this is an A. Pod, in the menu, it looks like the word poo, because this map is shit. You can run up the middle and get lit up. You can run around the big tree area side and get lit up. You run around the pods and you can get lit up. Yeah, this is not a fun map. There's not enough cover. There's not enough cover for running and gunning, but there's enough cover for camping and then picking off the running gunners. The only thing that saves it is that you can blow up the cars that people like to hide behind in the middle of the map, and sometimes get a kill. So it's a D, but it should be an F. Hey, Future Brook back again. On second thought, fuck Pod, it's an F. It's not D, it's an F map. I fucking hate Pod. Alright, that's Future Brook signing off once again. Okay, Raid. Raid is iconic. Raid is iconic, and of course it's an S rank. You got your middle area. I can remember many a times having a gunfight with a guy in front of me, and a guy could come from the left and right. I can prone down behind the barricades, they don't see you, and then you pop back up and you can shoot them. Now, I'm bad at the game, so I died a lot of the time doing that, but it's fun, because you actually have a chance. You've got the big wide open area on one side, but you can go up and through the bushes. You can run around the big bloody thing in the middle, and it gives you cover. On the other side, you got the pool area. A lot of the time, not many people are around that area, so as much as it's wide open, you have a lot of time because there's no one really watching. There's a reason why this map was remade, because it was such a good, nice flowing map. Easy S for me. Now, Rush, small map, and it's not wide open. There is a lot of cover, and I actually really like it for that. I have been killed many a times running one way and a guy comes from my left or right and shoots me, but I've also done the same to other people. They don't see you coming. that makes you think about what you're doing and where you're running. And then you've got, this bit on the side where you're up in the elevated fort type area. A lot of fun battles there. But the best part is the fucking paintball arena. I think it's because it's a little arena in a big map. I say big, it's a small map, but it's a small part of the map. But even in you can do custom games where I know that a big one was you could do the paintball game where you use the FAL, have headshots only, and you have to stay in the area. But even without custom games, you can spend a lot of time in there, just having gunfights, because it's legitimately made like a paintball course, so you've got your cover to hide behind, and it fits. It's not forced. That being said, it's not an iconic map, so I got to give it an A. You know what is an iconic map? Slums. It's still an A, because hello, that middle area, with the fountain, the amount of times I have been lit up from 8 different angles, it is not fun. and on the other side you got that wide open area where, you can hide behind the cars, but there's always someone hiding in that building. And as soon as you see that glass shatter, you're like, well, fuck, I'm dead. And sure enough, boom, dead. And then on the other side, as much as you can, go around, there's always someone fucking head glitching and just mows you down and you can't get to them. So you're like, oh, I'll go through the middle, and you get mown down by someone else head glitching. You go around the right hand side where through that building, and there's someone hiding in the corner, and it can be so frustrating but also so fun. But that frustration keeps it from being an S tier. Standoff shouldn't work, in my opinion, for a fun map, because of, as I say, huge open areas. But the thing is, this is a much larger map than a lot of the maps that have wide open areas. And so, you actually have many ways you can attack from. You can attack from the left, attack from the right, attack from the middle. But then you've got so many other paths you can take. You can go through the building, go through the main street, go behind, go in front of that middle building, go around the back of the building, go through the barn. It's just so much you can do. You can jump through a couple of windows, you can climb some ladders to get up on the higher areas to shoot down on people. You can get to the campers that way, you can go up and down. There's just so much you can do, so much protection, and it's just so much fun. That's an S tier. Studio. It's just firing range, but with different colours on it. It should just be an S tier, because it's the exact same map. But I don't have anything else to say. S tier. Same reason as firing range. It's the exact same map. Takeoff. RIP. Takeoff to me was always an awkward map. But it wasn't until I went and played what the fuck's that map called? Stadium from Black Ops 1, which is what this was a remake of, that I really started to understand it. And that's that. As cool as the studio is, as cool as that bloody, or for lack of a better term, the stadium. It's not the stadium in this, but the stadium. You don't really spend much of your time there. I found that in this, though, you're spending a lot of time around the outside, just dodging in between buildings, trying to find whoever's sniping at you or whoever's camping and head glitching at you. So in the end, it's just, I think the play style of this map is a little different to Black Ops, but it's still a good map. I give it a C. Same as Stadium, because there's not much else I could really say that's bad about it. Uplink, that's just Summit but darker. It's exact same map, got the rain aesthetic, so it makes it a little harder to see people, but it's a fair one. It's not like, if he's hiding in this corner you can't see him, but if he walks out, if you walk over here you're dead. Like the whole map's lit well. It's dark, but it's lit well. And just like with the other maps, can't really talk much about it and put it in A tier. I've already gone on about it in my Black Ops 1 thing. And the thing is that Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 are pretty similar in terms of like gunfights. So Vertigo did not have a lot going for it. You've got a confusing middle section that's just doorways and little tiny rooms connected to one another. You're going to have close gunfights there. On one side, huge open area where You can try and run around, but there's going to be a guy waiting for you when you get to the other side. And then on the other side, you've got very precarious little tightrope walks, basically, that you can do to get around. And I don't recall falling off often, but I know that that could be a huge issue for a lot of people. What Vertigo's biggest selling point for me, and I know a lot of other people is the same. Like the game starts, and everyone tosses their tomahawks trying to get across map. In the end, I got to give it a D tier. Like it's unremarkable. And lastly is Yemen. Yemen can be fun when you're running around like in the market and all that, but Yemen also has a few buildings that people can camp in. A little bit of head glitching here and there to make sure that they have the perfect line of sight on you. You can't see shit. You can't shoot back. And yeah, it's got some redeeming qualities, but I feel like this is definitely a bigger camping map. There's areas that you can sit on where you can see right down a huge open space. And if you're halfway decent with a sniper rifle, you are going to have a field day. It's still fun. I gotta give it a C. It's still fun, but it could have been better. Alright, Black Ops 3 Aquarium. So the first thing that I think of when I think of Aquarium, the first map here, is that glitch where people could stand up above the map and just shoot down on people. That was a glitch for a while. That was annoying. And also, when you're leaving the aquarium, like the middle part, there's those barrels that people can, head glitch behind and shoot you from. I died so many times to those motherfuckers. But aside from that, it's quite fun. You got your inside, which, you got your gunfights, but it's the outside that really shines. Because obviously, this being the first Call of Duty that has jetpacks, the first Black Ops that has jetpacks, you got to adapt to a little different style. So they have a wall running section, but you can also swim underneath to stay undetected and then pop up and find the guy that's been fucking shooting at you from the other side of the map. But no, there's a lot of fun to be had on this map. This is a B for sure. It was a really fun at the start of the game when people were, still getting used to the whole wall running jetpack thing, and then when people got a bit better, it's like, ooh, maybe not. Berserk, I just found legitimately a nothing map. Like, it was just a fight to get to the bridge, and you'd get to the bridge and you'd either die, or you'd live, and then run to the other side of the bridge and die. And you just do that over and over again. Not many people went to the wall running / jumping over the pit side, because there's just no need to. You just go to the bridge and you're either going to get a kill or you're going to die and go back to the bridge again. And so unfortunately, I'm going to give this a D. Like, there's nothing to it. So Breach is actually one of my favourite maps in Black Ops 3. The fact that people can shoot down on you, but you can just jetpack up to them when they're not looking, is so much fun. And if you're in a bit of danger, you can just jump to the side and wall run away. There's a lot of areas where you can just, it's got a lot of areas where you can have gunfights. And the inclusion of jetpacks makes this map a lot better. Because you can just, you're hiding behind that building in the middle. You can either jetpack up or go through it. People don't know if you're going to jump up or go through or even go around. It keeps them guessing and it keeps them on their toes. And that's why this is an S. Joining it in the S rank is the other excellent map. This is what I'd like to call the Nuketown of Black Ops 3. It's a nice, small map. You've got areas to wall run. I'm thinking not of the one on the side where you go over you can go over the void, but that wet, rocky area where you can actually wall run around the side. People think, okay, they're going to be running at me from this angle, and you come from above and you shoot down on top of them and you win. Of course, as I say earlier, this is one of the ones where at the beginning it was fun because people weren't really that good, and then people got a bit better and you're like, okay, I'm going to avoid that side of the map. You have two elevated areas where you can shoot down and actually, be protected. But the other thing is people can just jetpack up and get in there. So it's not like, oh no, they're camping, we can't get to them. No, they just jetpack up. And even the middle, even though it's somewhat wide open, you can go under the truck, you can go on top of the truck. And especially with the sliding, You got guys coming out of the doors, you can slide around the corner and they'll be waiting for you, and you slide around the corner and you get them off guard. Ultimately, this is a really fun map. The smallness of it makes it even better because you're not waiting for action. Action comes to you. And it's probably the best map in Black Ops 3. Hey, it's Future Brook here. I I didn't actually mention the name of the map that I'm talking about here, so yeah, if you haven't guessed it, it's Combine. Combine, I love the map. It's a great map, but yeah, that's the map I'm talking about. Alright, that's Future Brook signing off once again. Despite being described as a small to medium map, I always found like Cryogen to be a very slow map. Because people would just stay in one area and would not go anywhere. You'd try and bring the fight to them, and you'd lose because they'd have the better positioning, and there was like nothing you can do about it. No matter what, I've always found it a very slow and boring map, and I've got to give it a D. It's not a horrible map, it's just slow and not paced well. Evac is one of those maps where it's like, okay, we've got jetpacks, how do we show it off? How about we have a jetpack area where you can actually go down and up through the middle of the map? That's a great idea. That, honestly, was probably one of the best parts of the map. The fact that you can just, run, go down, go up, and you're on the other side of the map. But again, people start getting used to it once you play a few maps. But that's okay, because either side, you've got wide open areas that you can jetpack to, but you've also got cover. This is I feel like one of those earlier maps where it's like, we're just learning what to do, but it's still fun. C tier. And now we have the map that was literally removed from the PlayStation version of the game for a good while because it was like glitching out and I think it was crashing games. I can't remember. It's Exodus. This is interesting because a lot of the time people are either in the buildings on one side of the map or they're running straight through the middle. You almost never saw people on like the wide open area on the other side of the map. And for good reason. Because you go out there and you're just a sitting duck. There's almost no cover, and anyone coming around the corner can just go, oh look, guy, boop, oh look, guy, boop. Yeah, I'd call it another basic map, so I'm going to give this a C as well. Whoever decided to put a silo in the middle of the fringe map, great decision. There is nothing more fun than wall running around that motherfucker to get away from someone. Or, to set up a good sniper trick. I'm not exactly a sniper, but I've seen people do it. It's quite fun. But yeah, it's got a wide open area, which people can snipe from the barns. But what's different about wide open areas in this game is that a lot of the time you can wall run, or you've got areas you can wall run to actually give you protection and make it harder for you to get shot. And honestly, I really enjoyed this map. It was one of those first maps where it's like, hey, I like this map. I'm going to give it a B. Now, what I'm not going to give a B, I'm going to give a C to, is Fringe Nightfall. This was a precursor to bad things to come. That's all I'm going to say. It's just the same map, but it's a bit darker. Makes it a bit harder to see, but everyone, of course, had you had your bright camos, your bright operators. So, it wasn't that hard to see. But then, you'd have some people that would just put on some darker stuff so you can't see them. Which, obviously, smart idea. But, I don't know. It's still a good map. I'm putting it down just because of the darkness. Okay, I know a lot of people like the Gauntlet map. I fucking hate it. It doesn't mesh well together. It's 3 hugely contrasting lanes. The snowy area, you're just a super bright thing in the snow. No cover. People can just easily come and just be like, oh look, there's a guy, boop. Oh, there's a guy, boop. And there's no areas to wall run. So you can jetpack up, but that's about it. The jungle area is a fucking clusterfuck. It's hard to run around in. And again, lack of a wall running area. And then the city's alright, I guess. You can wall run in there, but there's not much to it. I fucking despise this map. A lot of people like it. I don't know why. This is an F tier for me. Havoc. I like Havoc. It does suffer from the fact that a lot of people would only play in 1/3 of the map. being in that little inner factory area and just leave that other side completely wide open. It did give the fun part of being able to, run anywhere, but yeah, they only played on a third of the map. So I can only give it a C, because that third part of the map was great, but the other two thirds, The fact that Hunted was one of the demo maps really sold Black Ops 3, I'd say. You've got areas you can jetpack to and from, wall running areas, swimming areas, a little hut to hide in. What more could you want? It's just like the complete package. I just can't see myself giving it an S though. I got to give it a B. What? No, I'm giving it an A, not a B. Like it's a near perfect map, but I don't know how to make it perfect. Like I'm not a map maker. It's just missing something from taking it to an S. But again, I do not know what that is. But it's an A map, that's for sure. Infection, you got a wall running side, you got a parkour side, and you've got the open middle area where you can get sniped from the church. You got a little bit of cover, not the most amount of cover. There's potential there. Not the biggest fan of it though. Maybe I'll go to B. B? C? I'm going to give it a C because I know that I'm really biased towards Black Ops 3. I'm sorry. Knockout. This was interesting. This had the opposite, I found, to Havoc. This is one where I found a lot of people would be in the wide open areas. Going in and around cover to try and pick guys off. Instead of being in the close quarters areas. But, I don't know. I was not a big fan of how... It's just like, okay, here's a big square with a couple of boxes put down. Have fun. I'd give it a D. Metro, it brings what I'd like to call feeling of Express, but it's also completely different. Like, you've got trains, but they're not the super fast thing that's going to run you the fuck down. You can go underneath, you can wall run around the outside, you can wall run on the building, on the outside, on the other side. Lot of different lanes you can go, you can cross over from one side of the station to the other. It's quite fun. I give it a B. Okay, here comes the controversy. Nuketown. They've tried to update it to give it a little bit of a wall running feel to it, but it did not work. I found that this map was a lot clunkier. You would have guys slipping and sliding everywhere. There was no... Like, the two houses, they were worth nothing now. You couldn't shoot from there because you had guys fucking flying around everywhere. And if you're on the ground, there's a guy always camping at that fucking car, and you'd have to try and run around the other side, and you get shot at. And it was just a mess of a map. It did not work well with jetpacks, and I gotta give it a B. It's still Nuketown, but it's not a good Nuketown. Redwood, I think, was a rather underrated map. I have so many memories of those wall runs around the trees on the far side of the map. How you could just run around on the tree. Oh, I'll just climb up a bit. Oh, I'll actually take the wall running area. Oh no, I'll run around the tree. The little areas that you can, like the little, what's the word I'm looking for? It's like the walkways that you can fight on. You can, fight without jetpacks, or you can jump on a tree, run around, and, fight from there. The middle of the map, it was wide open, but the areas that you'd be fighting from had a lot of wide open space as well. So you can be shot back from and not have like this little area you can head glitch from. And then, of course, you got the bridge on the other side of the map where you can run across the bridge, or you can go under the bridge. It was a fun time. No matter what you were doing, there was a way that you could get, the advantage on your opponent. And I wish more people liked this map. Severely underrated. You can have so much fun on this map. I'm giving it a B. Redwood Snow, it's also getting a B. It's just snowy. That doesn't really change much. Things will get worse in the next game, but this one is not bad. Rift. What was Rift? Why can I not remember Rift? Oh, I love Rift because it was a nice small map where you could basically run under the map and come up, or you just run straight into gunfights no matter where you go. Legitimately, I've had so many good games on this map. I'm giving it a B, not because it's an excellent map, it's just because it's so much fun to play because it's so small, it has the wall running done right, it doesn't feel like it's a map that was built as a regular map and they had to add wall running to it. It was one that seems like it was built around the wall running. Straight away, I'm giving Rise a C. I found this not a nothing map. It was like, it's not a boring map. You've got many areas you can go through. A lot of the time, you'd be running through the middle of the map. You'd always find that one guy who's running Hive, and would have hives in the most worst places. There's places you need to run, and you die to it, and you get angry. But then you would play Hive, like I was a Hive operator. I loved Hive. And you'd do the same to them, and you would suddenly rack up like 3 kills in the space of 5 seconds. You're like, alright, I'll take it. So it's a map that can be good, it's a map that can be bad. What better than C? Just put it in the middle. Okay, so I called Rumble Knockout. So let me just move that to the right place. So everything I just said about Knockout, like just before, that's what I meant about Rumble. This was another one that had a really nice wall running where you can go under the map. And it had, your middle area was not wide open. You could actually run around, jump up, and get down. It flowed well. It's not really much to say because it's not the biggest map. It's not the most exciting map. It does its job. It's fun. But yeah, this is definitely I'll give it a B. It's good. It's a good mid. Skyjacked is an A because it's the fucking hijacked, but it's in the sky. There's areas to wall run, but it's basically the same map. But those wall running areas, I find it took away some of the fun about running around the outside of the map, but it did bring the ability to run into the enemy and you both just fall down, which is quite humorous. But yes, it's only an A. Spire. Now, with Spire, one of the things that I love about that map is around the time that it dropped, the punching gloves were unlocked for everyone, and everyone was running punching gloves, and you would just be running around, put the fists together, just ding ding, and it was just an entire probably day or so of just melee lobbies because everyone wanted to use the punching gloves. And Spire was probably the most fun with it because you had so many areas you can jump up to, slide down. It's a lot of fun. But even when everyone wasn't using the punching gloves, it's such a fair map. People can shoot down on you, but you can wall run up, you can slide past them. You had area, like if someone's in the middle, you can always take the left or right way. It never felt like you have to do this or you have to do that. I'd give it a B. Splash. Splash is what I'd call, this would be a good map if it was like Black Ops 2 or, boots on the ground. It's not. It's still a good map, but I feel like the jetpacking, this is one of those maps that, as I say earlier, this was built and then they were like, oh shit, we've got jetpacks, let them go up a tube or whatever. So it's a good map, nothing special, I'll give it a B. Plus, I like the water park aesthetic. Hey, yo, Future Brook back. So, I just went on a tangent about, Splash is such a good map, just not for Black Ops 3, it would have been better in Black Ops 2. And then despite that, I still just put it in the B tier. So I've decided to move it down into the C tier, where it belongs. Just, it just makes more sense that way. Anyway, Future Brook heading out once again. I don't like Stronghold, but I respect Stronghold. A lot of the times I would, die in the house because someone would come either up the stairs or from what I'd like to call the car park, and just when I'm looking one way, they'll come from the other. There was an area, that rocky area, where No matter where you'd go, there'd be an enemy behind the rock you didn't look behind. And they'd see you. You wouldn't see them. And the enclosed area on the other side of the map was... it was alright. It didn't flow well for me. I'd give it a D. I hated Verge. It's like, the bridge is the main part that you're fighting over. But... why are you fighting over a bridge when you have jetpacks? You could literally just fly. I don't think this map flowed well. Actually, hang on, let me double check, because I'm sure, was this a remake? It's a reimagining of Bonsai. So you've taken a map that didn't have jetpacks, and you've tried to add jetpacks to them. It just didn't work. I'll give this a D as well. Alright, now the fun part. Black Ops 4. Before we get into Black Ops 4, however, it is Future Brook time. I did not mention the 4 pre-order bonus maps, I think they were, for PlayStation for Black Ops 3, being Jungle, Slums, Summit, and Firing Range. These obviously are going in the not played enough because I'm an Xbox guy. I don't have a PlayStation 4 to play these on, and I do not know how well they played with the jetpacks. So, not played enough. Also, it was during this time I discovered I didn't talk about Turbine for Black Ops 2. This is a map that when the game released, I fucking despised it. It was like Aftermath Overflow type territory for me. You just had everyone running the DSR, fucking quickscoping anything that moved. It was not fun. However, as time's gone on, all these guys have gone to the next Call of Duty. You're left with the more pure Black Ops 2 players. Sure, you still get some guys, pew pew pew, running around shooting the hell out of you with snipers, but it's more of a balanced map. That being said, it's still D tier, but hey, it probably would have been F if I hadn't gone back to the game, so here we go. Alrighty, once again, Future Brook is out. Alright, Black Ops 4 Arsenal, I like. You've got an open area with a lot of cover. You can run legitimately outside of the map and then run back in again, which I found quite funny that you can run out of the map and it's like, get back in the fight, and you run back in, it's like, oh, it's okay, it's fine. You've got the air ducts, which I had mentioned earlier I love. Almost every game, without fail, I'd start and run up those air ducts and get ready because there's always someone coming from the other side. And there's nothing better than setting up your tripwires across one side of them, and you just, you run off somewhere else and you just hear, tink, boom, because someone's tripped your trip mines. Even that middle factory area was always fun, because, you got your vertical gameplay, or your horizontal gameplay, but then you got someone, might be coming from the air ducts, and they're like, oh, I think we'll just pop out here. And suddenly you got a guy above you shooting down on you. Are you able to recover? Sometimes yes, a lot of the times not really. I gotta give it a B. It's not the best map, but it's good. You know what's not a good map? Arsenal Sandstorm. It's F. It's just the Arsenal map, but they've put a sandstorm in there, so you can't see shit. F. Not much else to say. Contraband. It's a nice small map. This is a map that does the jungle setting better, I'd say. Because it's not a... You've got many different ways you can go. You can go left, left, middle, left, right, right. Like, there's so many ways you can go. And it doesn't feel as cramped as the Gauntlet one. Also, and this is probably the bigger thing, no jetpacks mean it's boots on the ground, so you're not trying to run through and it's like, oh, there's a guy flying just a bit above me, I can't shoot him. So it's much more of a fair fight. A lot of cover, and even the uncovered areas, you have a chance to fight back. A lot of fun gunfights on here. I think I had this at like a C. The more I've talked about, the more I'm like, I kind of miss this map. I'm giving it a B. Contraband Hurricane. It's not the worst weather map, so I'm going to knock this one down to C, because it's still lit where you can see stuff, but a little bit of a hurricane to take you off your game. To me, Elevation felt like a map that was supposed to be in a earlier, like a Black Ops 1 or Black Ops 2 type game. It's kind of like an outdated map, where the way that people play Black Ops has changed since Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. and it just doesn't. It interrupts the flow a lot more. I don't know. It's like you have so many areas that you can run, but people only go to one area. I'm gonna give it a D. Hey, firing range is back, and what can I say? It's firing range. It's still in the S tier. Everything I've said about it in Black Ops 1 and in Black Ops 2, it's the same. There used to be a glitch at the start of the game when it first released that you'd have your pick, you'd pick what map you want, and then you'd play it. Then you'd have a chance to pick it again. And then it was quote unquote disabled. You couldn't pick it again. Except you could. It would say that you can't pick it, but you'd go back to it, you'd hit A to select it, and it would count. There was a session that we did early on when we were still streaming Black Ops. We played, I think, 7 games of firing range in a row. And I still fucking love the map. So, like, S tier easy.
Hey, so this game's real like fixed. See how firing range is blanked out? You can still vote for it.
Someone say firing range?
Firing range night. This is how you do a night map. This is similar to the what was it, Arsenal? Was it Arsenal? Fringe. This is similar to the Fringe one where it's dark, but it's well lit dark. You can actually see what's going on. However, the darkness does take a little bit away from it, so I've got to put it down to A tier. I'm sorry. I hate Frequency with a big love. It's a map where I have been absolutely shat on so many times. It is so frustrating. But as soon as I see that map, I'm like, I don't mind this map. It's that big rush at the start, where you've got that big spire on the one side that you guys are fighting to get around to shoot your enemies. 9 times out of 10, if you kill the guy there, there's always someone camping on the other side behind on that elevated surface who will gun you down. But sometimes you kill them. You've killed that person, you can jump up to that elevated surface. There's usually a guy camping, shooting into the middle area. You can kill that guy because he's not looking for you. By that time, the guys that you've killed have respawned and are coming for you, and you can come back and kill them. So you can start off with like 5 or 6 quick kills, really get your team. That's what makes it so much fun, and that's what makes it so infuriating. I'm giving it a B. Gridlock is probably the best destruction map that I've seen. It actually looks like it belongs. It's not like, oh, let's just pretend to destroy a couple buildings here and there. No, they have ruined this highway. But there's cars you can hide behind. There's that building on one side that you can hide behind. You can run through other buildings. Your 3 lanes are perfect for this map. I gotta give it a B as well. Here is a map I'm giving an A, all because of one button. It was so... I really wanted to give it S. It's Hacienda. Again, going back to the streams. There was a stream where Leith told us, hey, there's a map with a button to a secret room. And he could not remember the name of the map. So we were playing maps, and I'm like, is it this map? Is it this map? Is it this map? We finally got the map, and we went to the secret room. And we decided we were going to spend the entire game in this one little secret room. It's the stupidest thing, but I fucking loved it so much. That being said, the map does flow quite well. You've got long hallways that, you got railings and other stuff you can hide behind. But it's a nice line of sight. Someone's sniping you, you're going to be able to see them. They're not going to be hidden. Like, even if they're prone on the floor, you can still see them. It's not like there's a little head glitch that they can do. Surprisingly, the middle of the map is kind of, like the middle area between those 2 sight lines is actually kind of safe to run between. And then on the outside, you've just got your stragglers coming around. I'm going to give it an A. Like, it's a good map. And we are now introducing a new tier below F tier. This is the Hacienda Twilight tier. This is for maps that are so bad they make me want to drag my ballsack along glass instead of playing this map. This map is pitch black. You can barely see anything. Even with the bright camos and guns, you can barely see anything. Oh, by the way, there's going to be a lot of people... You know those sightlines that I was talking about? They're going to be camping it with thermal vision scopes. They can see you perfectly. You cannot see them at all. It is a horrible map. Whoever decided that that was a good idea needs to be shot. I don't know. I don't know what to say. What were you on? Do you playtest these maps? Please. Please. But yes, this is a horrid map. This is the worst map ever created. Icebreaker is just a circle with a few things scattered around, a little bit of swimming you can do. A middle area that's like a little sunken submarine. You got long area, like long lines of sight, especially from some of the spawns. So you can, you can be in your spawn and be sniping or using an LMG or whatever. Do pretty well. It's not the worst map. I give it a B. Jungle! This was an A map. I don't know what it was. I think it's the playstyle has changed so much and the movement is much more fluid. A lot of the times, would run into a lot more people. Not many people would be camping on that little fucking rock up in the middle of the map. They'd be running around the destroyed village or even running around on the bridge by the little rock. It was more of a run and gun type of game, and I really enjoyed it for it. That is an A. You know what nearly joined High Sea into Twilight in the High Sea into Twilight tier? Jungle flooded. And it's interesting because the bit that's flooded is the bit that not many people would be at. The issue is, the reason that it was so good that not many people would be there is because you could be in trouble and you escape to the bottom area and you're able to run away because there's no one down here. Sure, they might follow you, but you've got more of a chance to escape. Now, it's all flooded. So you want to go down there? You are swimming. You are a fucking sitting target for anyone. And you want to come back up? Oh, look, there you are. Bang, bang. You're dead. It was the second worst idea anyone's ever had. But yes, F tier. It's a stupid idea. So Lear was fine. It had elevated areas. It had a little bit of cover here and there. This probably should have been in the not played enough, but I give it a C. You've got a lot of up and down. It's more vertical, I've found. A lot of the battles were vertical than, horizontal. But it was fine. It's C. Madagascar is also a C. I found it quite a boring open map where if you weren't running, right down the middle, you weren't going to run into gunfights. In fact, nah, fuck you, you're a D. With Militia, there was two main areas where people would like to camp, and those camping areas, at the church, there's two ways of entrance. You can have one guy watching one way, and then one guy watching the other. There's also that middle bit, that's the bit where people like to camp, but if you've got people trying to hold down the church, you come through that middle bit, they're not expecting you. As for that little hut, you can climb up the front, or there's two different doors you can go in. And I mean, usually a lot of people would camp in there, and you'd have like 2 or 3 people. You know what else is a really good tool to get rid of campers? A single cooked grenade. You cook your grenade, chuck it in, oh look, triple kill. It's a balanced camping map, I give it a B. Morocco is a very vertical map, I'd say. I'd say the biggest mistake about it is one side, the spawn with the big stairs. You can spawn there, and enemies can be at the top of the stairs, and they can just pick you off because there's like a truck or an APC or whatever, and that's it. You want to keep trying to run up, they're going to mow you down. You run to the side, they might get you or you might escape, but normally there's another fucking guy coming. It is a horrid, like almost spawn trap to be on that side of the map. Other than that, that's actually quite fun. You're running along and it's like, oh, do I look down? Do I look up? Do I look left? Do I look right? I'll give it a C, I guess. You know what didn't age well? Nuketown Black Ops 4. So, with Nuketown Black Ops 4, it's just the playstyle. The sliding all over the place, and just the advanced movement doesn't fit well for this older map. Unlike Firing Range, Nuketown's much more close quarters, so there's not many areas you can go, and multiple times you'll get to like the middle of the map, someone will come sliding around the corner and wipe you out. You have no time to react. It's a B. No higher than a B, I'm sorry. Payload, despite being, one of the main initial maps, I found quite forgettable. Like, I know the map, it's just, I don't think about it. That middle area, you got a little bit of elevated areas that you can climb in through that plain. But apart from that, there's not much going on there. You're mostly going to be fighting around the outside or the exits to that middle area. Not much else. It's C. Now, Seaside, I'm going to say it right now, it's an A. You have a middle area with an area like with a sniper's church. I like to call it a sniper's church because that's where all the snipers would go. But you have a building across from that where you've got a bit of cover so you can shoot down, but you can also shoot across. That middle area, though, has a lot of protection from said sniper. And if you don't want to go there, you've got 2 lanes around either side that provide a lot of fun firefights. So I give that an A. C for Seaside Sunset, though. It's not a dark map, but it has dark areas. Like the lighting is somewhat fine, but then it's also somewhat dark. Not a big fan of these weather maps. 2 maps to go, and they're both remakes, so I might as well say it's Slums. This is where advanced movement helps. Before, you would have guys head glitching, you've got no way to get to them, they'll gun you down before you can even, before you even think about seeing them. Now, you're actually able to, slide and shoot your way around and sometimes get the upper hand on them. So that, which is really odd to be saying, but I'm going to put it in S tier. You know what else is going in an S tier? Summit. Again, the few little issues that I had with it in Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, the advanced movement fixes it. It's hard to explain why some maps like this are so much better, whereas other maps like Nuketown are so much worse. But it's more fair, I find. You'll be able to slide around, your opponents can slide around. It's not like you're trying to run and gun and there's someone coming around the corner. No, you know where people are going to come from and you can prepare for them. Whoa. You think the video's going to end without one more appearance from Futurebrook? So, at the start of the video, you heard me say, I recorded this before Black Ops 6 was out. Yeah, well, now Black Ops 6 is out, and I had to clear up almost all of the games off of my internal storage to install the game. But hey, I've played some Black Ops 6 multiplayer. So let's rank all the maps that I've played. Yes, I've only played one map, and it's Nuketown. Yes, they released Nuketown 24/7 with the double XP and all that shit. And let me tell you, Nuketown is fucking back, baby. S tier. I have not had this much fun on Nuketown since Black Ops 2. I think played 6 hours of Nuketown, and I was still excited about the map. It feels so good. I know that in Black Ops 4 I mentioned, like the movement just didn't feel right, same with Black Ops 3. Black Ops 6 has Omni movement. You can sprint backwards, you can slide backwards, you can fucking dolphin dive backwards. But it works in this context. I don't know why it works so well, but it feels like classic Nuketown. And I mean, classic Nuketown's an S, this is an S. Alright, Passbrook, time to end this long ass video. Okay, and so that's my tier list. Now, if you disagree, please tell me about it in the comments. I love the interaction. The algorithm probably likes it too. Anyway, okay, I've been Brooke. Thank you for watching. I don't know when this is coming out, but you're probably going to be watching either Rainbow Six Siege or Madden football highlights. I don't know what the title of the next video is going to be, because of course, I'm editing it. Brooke, pop up what the next video is going to be. Yes, I'll see you guys soon for that video on Tuesday, and yeah, cool, thanks. Bye guys.